Dwight D Eisenhower was the 34th President of America, who led the nation to the end of the Korean War and steered a moderate course during the Cold War. He was born on October 14, 1890, in Denison, Texas. He was raised in a poor family and lived in a modest house by the railroad tracks. His father was a college-educated engineer, but found it difficult to find work and made a living as a mechanic. Dwight D. Eisenhower died on March 28, 1969, in Washington, D.C. The career of Dwight D. Eisenhower included the roles of soldier, politician, and statesman. He had a good education and went on to study at the U.S. Military Academy and West Point, where he graduated first in his class of 245 officers. He achieved the rank of a 5-star general of the Army and was a hero of World War II. He became the 34th President of America in 1953 and served for 8 years until 1961. Dwight D. Eisenhower married Mary Mamie Geneva Dowd on July 1, 1916. They had 2 children whose names were Dwight and John Sheldon Dowd, who died of scarlet fever at the age of 3. Many rumors circulated that he developed a relationship with Kay Summersby. Dwight D. Eisenhower belonged to the Republican political party. He was 62 years old when he was inaugurated as the 34th president. Inauguration is the president's swearing-in ceremony. His nickname was Ike, which was used in his famous campaign slogan, "I like Ike." Richard Nixon stood as the vice president. Dwight D. Eisenhower was 5 feet 10 inches in height and weighed approximately 178 pounds. He had light brown hair before he went bald, blue eyes, and a fair complexion. His most distinctive feature was his broad grin. He was very well traveled due to his highly successful military career, in which he reached the position of Supreme Commander of Operation Overlord, the Allied assault on Nazi-occupied Europe. The presidential retreat, called Shangri-La, was renamed to Camp David after his grandson. During his lifetime, he played a key role in major events of the era. Dwight D. Eisenhower was instrumental in the closing stages of the Korean War, which ended in 1953. In 1954, the Brown v. Board of Education legal dispute resulted in the U.S. Supreme Court declaring that separate public schools for black and white students was unconstitutional. In 1957, Eisenhower ordered federal troops to Little Rock to enforce integration. As the Cold War continued, a speech referred to as the Eisenhower Doctrine was made in 1957 to limit communist expansion. During his life, Dwight D. Eisenhower suffered from appendicitis, arthritis, Crohn's disease, anxiety, and depression. He also suffered from heart disease and experienced multiple heart attacks. Crohn's disease is an inflammatory disease of the intestines, which is associated with ulcers. Dwight D. Eisenhower died of coronary thrombosis on March 28, 1969, in Washington, D.C. He was 78 years of age. The state funeral of the president was held at Abilene, Kansas, where he was also buried. So ends our short biography about the life and presidency of Dwight D. Eisenhower, the hero of World War II. The next U.S. president was John F. Kennedy.